Here are my Springboks player ratings for their game against Argentina. Far from their best game. One of the worst games we've seen from them in recent years. I literally just came in here right now, wrote down a few notes to see if you can see some of them there. I literally came right after the game, wrote down the players' names and did their player ratings. So do forgive me if some of these might not be right in your eyes, because for me, this is what I saw right now after the game, because the game literally ended right now, did the reaction video. Now it's time for the player rating. So before we do get into it, if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the comments, positive and negative. I appreciate all the feedback as well. Of course, we're trying to build a positive rugby community here. So if you do disagree with what I say, let me know why. Let's talk about it. That's all it has to be. Let's talk about it. It's just rugby at the end of the day. It's just the sport we all love. So we will be doing our player ratings now. But first of all, let's talk about that game. Not a good performance for the Springboks at all. Far from their best, it has to be said. One of the worst performances we've seen from them in the last few years. I mean, lack of imagination on attack, poor execution on the kicks, poor accuracy on the kicks as well. The kicking game from Reinach, Sasha Ngomazulu and Fassi was really poor today. And for Reinach's standards as well, he's been really good recently. Not the best performance. It seemed a bit like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm trying to find the words in English, because obviously English isn't my first language, but it was just seemed rushed. Everything on attack today just seemed rushed. It seemed frantic is the right word. Frantic's the word I'm looking for. It seemed very frantic today. Like they were just, as soon as Argentina got the lead, normally the Springboks kind of go to their kind of fundamentals, take a back step. They're like, okay, let's go back to our fundamentals. Let's slow things down. Let's play the game our way. But instead, I felt like the Springboks stepped it up another notch of being more frantic, all over the show, and just playing all over the field with like the wrong kind of desperation. I think in rugby, especially for Springboks rugby, desperation is a good thing. Desperation on defense, desperation to make big tackles, desperation to get over the ball. But being desperate with regards to the way you attack with decision making today was just not on form, not on par for the Springboks at all. But we will get into the player ratings now, starting off with number 1, Bowen Venter. One of the better performers in my opinion. And Bowen Venter has come a long way. Good scrummager now, good around the park as well, and playing like a bit of an experienced Springbok right now. So I've gone it for a 7 out of 10 for Bowen Venter. A good performance for him. Moving on to number 2, Johan Grobelaar. I've gone for a 6 out of 10. A decent performance from him. Not the most dominant, not the worst performance either. Maybe 6 is a bit harsh, but I was once said many times in the comments before, don't give 0.5s, but this is the perfect time to give him a 6.5, but I'm going for a 6 out of 10. So 6 out of 10 for Johan Grobelaar, but a higher 6 out of 10 than some of these other guys might be. For number 3, Thomas du Toit, I've also gone for a 6 out of 10. Yes, he got a few scrum penalties, but really wasn't that dominant today, wasn't that good around the park either. I'm not saying it's all down to him. I think for a lot of these guys, they are a product of their surroundings within the game. For instance, Sasha's score, let's just be real, it's not going to be high, but I don't think that's just down to him as well. So we'll go to that. We'll get there eventually. But for Thomas du Toit, a 6 out of 10. A decent performance, a solid performance, getting the job done there. Number 4, Eben Etzebeth. You know what? I actually thought for Eben Etzebeth's comeback game, I thought it would be a lot worse. I actually thought it was a pretty solid game from him, but I'm still going for a 6 out of 10 because I thought he made quite a lot of mistakes. Did get dominated a few times in the collisions, did make a few big tackles by himself, but did still make a few crucial mistakes there. So for Eben Etzebeth, I've gone for a 6 out of 10. I think this is a high 6 out of 10 as well, because he did some pretty good things in the game. I thought his work rate was pretty good, had a charge down, had a big tackle. I might have to change that to a 7 out of 10, but for now I'm going for a 6 out of 10, and please let me know down below if you agree or if you do disagree. Also, keep in mind, I am literally doing this right now. I haven't had time to really process this right from the game right now, player ratings, because I feel like that's what the fans want. That's what the guys, the people in the chat want, the guys in the comments want as well. So we'll get it out as quick as possible. Number 5, Luediaga. Now this is one that I might have to go watch back, but I've gone for a 5 out of 10 for Luediaga. I thought he was really average today. Didn't get dominance. Wasn't physically dominant. Was okay at line out time. I think the throws weren't the best either. Didn't see too much of him. Of course, that could be a different case where I could go back to the stat sheet and see he was all over the field. But I just didn't get that same essence of dominance from Luediaga today. So a 5 out of 10 for him. And I also do have to start being a bit more ruthless with these player ratings, because a lot of the time I've been giving some very good scores for some very subpar performances. So 5 out of 10 there. For Siya Kolisi, number 6. I've just gone for a 6 out of 10. Can't really give him a fair score. He went off injured. Hopefully he can be recovered for the greatest rivalry series. If not, I fully expect Paul de Villiers to get the number 6 jersey. And after today's performance, a guy like Cameron Hanekom to play in that Kwagga Smith role, he was brilliant today. But hopefully the captain, Siya Kolisi, can be back for that. He didn't look bad while he was on the field. He's got a good skill set. He's really good with his breakdown. The attacking breakdown, Siya Kolisi, is so underrated. He gets over that ball. He's so aggressive at the breakdown. He's so accurate. He is any scrum half's dream to play with, because the accuracy and the intent he goes into the breakdowns with, he is always making sure the Springboks have good clean balls. So that's one thing they will miss. And you could see there was a big difference when he went off the field as well, because he's one of the guys with regards to those uncoachable things, the work rate, the working back on defense, the hitting the rucks hard, hitting the rucks accurately. He is very good there. Number 7, Elrich Lowe. I've gone for a 6 out of 10. Okay performance. I think he was outplayed by some of the other guys. Definitely outplayed by Cameron Hanekom. Okay performance. But look, I'm not going to be a nice guy here and give a 7 or an 8 out of 10 for a sub for an okay performance. So a 6 out of 10 here for Elrich Lowe. Still a very good player in my opinion. Really good seeing a guy like him in the green and gold jersey. And I will say there's a lot of players now like Elrich Lowe, like Cameron Hanekom, like Bowen Venter, which they were new guys a year or two ago, that now they're comfortable there. They understand their role. They're playing good rugby. They can even become leaders one day. So that's very good to see from the likes of those guys. But moving on to number 8, my man of the match, Cameron Hanekom. I've gone for a 9 out of 10. He was brilliant today, and I was wanting more of that in that England game. Of course, he wasn't given a shot again after that, but he was carrying with intent, dominant tackles, holding people up today. He was everywhere today, a threat over the ball. That's the Cameron Hanekom we know, and that's the Cameron Hanekom we're excited to see at international level. I truly do believe today was Cameron Hanekom's kind of welcome to international rugby moment. Yes, he played off against Wales from the bench a few years ago. I think it was last year. Yes, he also did play against England in the first half there. But today's what we wanted to see from Cameron Hanekom. And can you imagine going forward? We're going to see a lot more of Paul de Villiers. We're going to see a lot more of Cameron Hanekom together. Two phenomenal players together, and just sprinkle a little of Ruan Nortje in there as well. A lot of younger guys coming through playing some very good rugby right now. Of course, Ruan Nortje is older than those guys, but still, in my opinion, much younger than Eben Etzebeth, much younger than Louis Jager as well. So a 9 out of 10 for Cameron Hanekom. Really good score. I was going to go for a 10, but I was like, nah. He was very good today. Very good performance from him. A very good player today, but a 9 out of 10 for Cameron Hanekom in my opinion. So very good performance there. Definitely ticked a lot of boxes for the coaches, and I think the coaches will be very frustrated with some of the performances there. I think Cameron Hanekom will be one of those guys that'll be like, okay, he can play against the All Blacks. So very good to see that. Definitely deserves it. Moving on to the back line, number 9, Cobus Reinach. I've gone for a 4 out of 10. For Cobus Reinach, that was a terrible game today. Inaccurate box kicks, slow at the breakdown, which of course could be because once Siya Kolisi went off, the accuracy and the intent at the breakdown was not the same as well. Very slow at the breakdown, very poor box kicks today. Just wasn't in it too much today. I don't know what was going on with him today. He just seemed a bit out of it, he was one of those guys that was really frantic today. And I think when a team does play frantic and looks frantic, it becomes from the 9, it comes from the 10, and it comes from the 15 as well. And I thought all those guys there, the 9, 10, 15 axis today was very poor for the Springboks. So a 4 out of 10 for Cobus Reinach. There might be guys that disagree with that, but let me know down below in the comments. Moving on to number 10, and I think there'll be a lot of people disagreeing with me here. For Sasha Ngomazulu, one of my favorite players in the world, one of the best players in the world, and please, let's not now think of Sasha Ngomazulu as a poor player. Let's not think of him as the rating I'm giving him now, because he's not. And you can't. I've seen this so many times before with fans where a player will have 1 or 2 bad games and forever they're labeled as bad players. That's not the case. These guys are playing at the highest level. I think for a guy like Sasha, and I said this right, actually, you know what? My partner said this to me right now as well. She loves rugby. She's become a Springbok fan now, but she is British as well, so keep that in mind. She said to me, you know, but that Sasha guy, he's actually really good sometimes, but when it doesn't work for him, he plays really bad. That's the perfect way to describe it. I've given him a 3 out of 10, so a 3 out of 10 for Sasha Ngomazulu. Things really did not go his way today. 15 carries for a fly half, not the best. You don't want to be seeing that. Of course, I've said before in the match reaction, that could be because other guys were flat-footed when getting the ball. Guys weren't running with motion either. So a 3 out of 10. Poor kicking out of hand. Poor gameplay. Poor game management. It looked very frantic today. The positive thing is he's back on the field and he can do some incredible things. So I'm looking forward to see more from him. I do think he will play against the All Blacks. He is one of those guys that he has so much X factor and star power. He just needed a game, and when he gets back into it, he's going to be absolutely phenomenal. He is one of the best players in the world. So a 3 out of 10 performance for him. Doubt we'll see that ever again from him, and hopefully not. Moving on to number 11 and number 14, Ethan Hooker and Edward van der Merwe. I've given both of them a 7 out of 10. Ethan Hooker, once again, solid under the high ball, solid on defense, going to hit breakdowns like a loose forward, and I think he could be a future hybrid player like Andre Esterhuizen. And if Andre Esterhuizen does miss that first game, don't be surprised if you see Ethan Hooker playing a hybrid role again, because he's a really good player. He did play loose forward at school as well. He can play centre, he can play loose forward, he can play wing. So keep an eye out for him. If Andre Esterhuizen doesn't play, I'm expecting that from the Springboks coaching staff. But another good performance from him. Another very solid performance. He just, every time he puts on the green and gold jersey, he takes it to another level. And to be honest, even for the Sharks, he just always plays at a very high level. A very professional player there. So 7 out of 10 for Ethan Hooker. 7 out of 10 for Edward van der Merwe as well. Put him in a position to score, he will score. He's fast, he's rapid, he's electric, he's physical, he's good under the high ball. 7 out of 10 for him. Could obviously do a lot more. I think he can do a bit more. He could have maybe attacked the line a few times more. But when he gets confidence, when he gets the opportunity to score, he will score. So a 7 out of 10 for him. Then moving on to the centres. Andre Esterhuizen number 12 and Canan Moodie number 13. I've gone for a 6 out of 10 for the both of them. Two completely different games with what they had to do. They had some good moments, they had some poor moments. I think Andre Esterhuizen's moment probably was the dummy offload over the top, offload around the back to set up the try for Edward van der Merwe. Canan Moodie as well, giving the second to last pass, and of course holding the ball up for the Argentina player, showing off his strength once again. I just can't help but think Canan Moodie is better in the number 14 jersey, and I'd really like to see a shift from Canan Moodie to the wing and Ethan Hooker to the centres going forward, because I think that might just suit the Springboks rugby a lot more. And I'm not saying Canan Moodie is not a better player than Ethan Hooker. In fact, I think Canan Moodie has the potential to be one of the best wingers in the world. Just play him on the wing more often. I think he is a winger, and I think Ethan Hooker also is a centre. So for me right now, I want to see that happen. So a 6 out of 10 for the both of them. Not the best performance, not bad either, but just not the best. I think Andre Esterhuizen would have liked to be a lot more dominant today. We would have liked to see a lot more over the advantage line carries, a lot more dominance from him. And for Canan Moodie, we didn't see any line breaks, we didn't see any big defensive reads. So for me, it was a quiet game from him, but not a bad game either. Now moving on to number 15, Apalele Fassi. I have to break it to you, not the lowest score of the day. I've gone for a 4 out of 10, and there's one reason why. The second half of the second half, the final quarter of the game, I thought Apalele Fassi was a little bit better there. Inaccurate kicks today, looks a bit slow right now. Things not going his way, decision making not the best, looks very slow, very sluggish around the field. He is battling an injury, so I'm not going to be too harsh on him. He's a very good player. But we just have to be honest with ourselves right now. He was really contending with Damian Willemse a few years ago, and now it's just completely, where's the next fullback? Because Damian Willemse is so clear of everyone else. It could just be Kewan Horn as well. Kewan Horn's another guy that I think could be probably ahead of Apalele Fassi right now by the way he's playing. So a 4 out of 10 for Apalele Fassi, but I will say saw some really good things at the end of the game. Some good carries, attacking the line, running over defenders, but just need to see that more often, because I'd say for 4 minutes or 5 minutes of that game he was brilliant. For 75 minutes he was absolutely poor. So a lot of things to work on there. Please let me know down below, do you guys disagree? Do you agree with my player ratings? I did do this right after the game. It is late here right now, but I want to get this out for you guys. I might not even get this out in the morning. I might get it out now at 11 p.m. at night. I might just do it. I mean, 11 p.m. for me is late. For some other people, it might not be late. But going on to the replacements, going on to the bench, I'll talk about some of the replacements here first. I'm not going to give them individual scores. I'm going to give them a score as a whole. But number 16, Jan-Hendrik Wessels. He could be the number 16 for the tour, for the Rugby's Greatest Rivalry tour. He is a brilliant player. He comes on, he reminds me of an Erge Snyman from the bench. And just thinking about that name, don't we just miss Erge Snyman so much? We miss that presence. But number 17, I think today, number 17 was Gerard Steenkamp. Another guy, he comes on, he plays solid, he plays very good rugby from the bench. He just does his job perfectly. Number 18, Zachary Porton. We saw the footwork. He has so much potential, and he is such a good player. He's such a big guy as well. Very good performance from him from the bench. Number 19, I think today was Ben Jason Dixon, another good performance from the bench, getting comfortable from the bench. And we're seeing that a lot now. The bomb squad's looking a lot different. We're seeing Jan-Hendrik Wessels, we're seeing Gerard Steenkamp, we're seeing Zachary Porten, we're seeing Kobus Wisse, we're seeing Ben Jason Dixon, we're seeing Marco van Staden. All these guys are getting very comfortable playing off the bench together, and they're making a very good impact. And a lot of these guys weren't talked about as being Springbok players a few years ago, or some of the main guys, but these guys are playing some very good rugby right now. So the bench made a good impact. Kobus Wisse again came on, intensity, physicality, aggression, just like his brother. Can you imagine Jasper Wisse coming around the corner, followed by Kobus Wisse? That is my worst nightmare. He was good. Number 21, Marco van Staden. Busy as soon as he came on, physical, aggressive, and aggressive in the right ways. Yes, he's going to give guys the extra push, but we need some guys like that sometimes. I think Eben Etzebeth, for a lot of his career, has been labelled as like an enforcer, Bucky's Bertha type of player. He hasn't been that type of player since 2017, since that All Blacks game at Newlands. Since then, he's just been a very world-class lock player that just gets on with the job. Marco van Staden gets stuck, and he's a bit of an enforcer. He's a brutal player. I love watching him play because he plays angry. He reminds me of a baby, or not a baby rhino, just a young rhino that's just full of anger, and he's a really good player for that. And I think we need more players like that. Number 22 was Morne van den Berg. I would say he was okay when he came on, a few inaccurate box kicks, but still brought the energy, brought the pace, and that's what the Springboks needed, because Kobus Reinach was not fast enough today, and Morne van den Berg brought the energy that was really necessary. And number 23, Andre Pollard. I thought he was solid when he came onto the field. He really has been impressing me lately. I mean, for the Bulls, he's been a lot better this year. He's found a bit more of his imagination again, a bit more of his attacking sense, kind of doing side steps, attacking the line, the little grubbers as well. A solid performance, and I thought the whole bench there had a pretty solid performance without being spectacular. So for the replacements, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. So I'll go over these one more time. Bowen Venter, 7 out of 10. Grobelaar, 6 out of 10. Thomas du Toit, 6 out of 10. Eben Etzebeth, 6 out of 10. Louis de Jager, 5 out of 10. Siya Kolisi, 6 out of 10. Couldn't see too much. I can't really give him a low or a high score. Number 7, Ulrich Lowe, I've gone for a 6 out of 10. Cameron Hanekom at number 8, I've gone for a 9 out of 10. And my man of the match, what a performance. Really ticked a few boxes for the coaches. Number 9, Kobus Reinach, 4 out of 10. Sasha Ngomazulu, 3 out of 10. Needs to work on his game, but he is one of the best players in the world. Number 11, Ethan Hooker, 7 out of 10. Both the centers, Esther Hazen and Moody, 6 out of 10 each. Edward van der Merwe, number 14, I've gone for a 7 out of 10. Apelele Fassi, a 4 out of 10. And for the whole bench, a 7 out of 10. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree down below in the comments. And if you do disagree, let me know why, please. Let's talk about it. No negativity needed. Let's talk about it. I'm trying to build a positive community here, not just for the Springboks, for all the teams in the world. I mean, when it comes to the Springboks All Blacks games, I'm doing All Blacks player ratings as well. So it's going to be very fun. If you do enjoy the content, please hit the subscribe button and stick around. Thank you so much for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.